As the UFC's #1 ranked heavyweight contender, Francis Ngannou carries a heavy fist, but he comes from humble beginnings. Born in the small village of Batié, Cameroon, Ngannou's struggles started early. At the age of 6, his parents divorced and was sent to live with his aunt for 3 years.
My dad was a violent person. He was not really nice as a dad, who beat you up very well, beat everybody, fight in the street, and he had a really bad reputation. I was ashamed of it.
Francis calls it one of the hardest times in his life, but it turned out to be the most enlightening.
My dad helped me to understand what is good and what is bad, which is crazy the way that came to me.
As bad as he was,
as
positive a
it
thing
makes
for
it
you as
as
it could.
positive for me.
But staying positive was easier said than done. Ngannou says growing up he was broke, and at the age of 13 he was forced to work at a sand quarry just to help feed his family and use what's left to pay for school.
I became a subject of shame at school because other kids they were looking at me like the kids that doesn't have food, doesn't have a pen, doesn't pay scholarship on time. This was something who revolted me, make me angry.
It was at that moment Ngannou recognized the chip on his shoulder and the realization that good wasn't good enough.
Yes, I wanted to do something big enough to show them. All that together gave me the love of boxing. Boxing would be the thing that will give me everything that I ever want.
At the age of 22, Ngannou had worked all kinds of jobs, but realized if he wanted to truly do something special with his life, he had to leave, something that was not so simple.
And even if I had a free visa, couldn't afford a airfare. But I knew that was my only option. I have to leave. I have to try. How it's gonna end up, I don't know. But I can't just sit there, cross my hand, and expect something come falling from the heaven. So I decided to leave Cameroon. I started to go to Nigeria, then from Nigeria to Niger, from Niger to Algeria. We had to cross the Sahara Desert, then from Algeria to Morocco. That I spent almost 1 year in Morocco trying to go from Morocco to Spain. That was a final level of that and the highest risk and everything. This the moment that you realize that your life is just like this. I mean, the Morocco part was a hell of adventure.
The shortest distance between Morocco and Spain is 9 miles separated by the sea. Francis said he and others would pile on the equivalent of a swimming pool raft, never planning to make it to Spanish land.
We couldn't make it. It's not possible to make it to the end. So we just want to go far enough and get rescued by the Red Cross.
Could you swim?
No. Just for the record, I tried many times. I end up to become the captain because I know how he works. I know how to handle the boat inside the water, to organize. I know the security, all the security precaution and everything, but can't swim.
But after 14 months of trying to leave Africa, Ngannou finally found success.
Even now, when I still think about something that happened out there, I still can't believe it.
But shortly after getting picked up by the Red Cross, he was then sent to a detention center where he stayed for 2 months.
It was like a mental stuff. By the end, you just wanted them to let you go. Even if it's like to let you back in Morocco or in your country, you just wanted to be free because being there for 2 months was like they were crushing your mind.
Once released, Ngannou made his way to France, sleeping in underground parking structures until he found a gym that introduced him to MMA.
Then I'm like, what's MMA? So I'm like, mixed martial art. I'm like, good, but what mixed martial art? They have to explain the whole process to me.
After 2 years in Europe and a 5-1 record, Ngannou earned his first UFC contract, making his debut in Orlando, Florida, December of 2015.
I remember I went to the airport. There were this guy with my name on the board, like UFC Francis Ngannou. He took my suitcases, brought me to the big SUV, opened the door, gave me a seat, drive me to the 5-star hotel. I'm like, hey guys, you know what? I made it. I made it by the main door. This time it's not the service interest. I was like, can somebody call my mom and tell her her son has made it? That was a big knockout, and it made a lot of buzz. Even Dana White tweeted on it for the first time. My first fight, first impression, good impression. The boss liked the job, everyone liked it. So when we were going back in Paris, I'm just like relaxing, like, yeah, here we go. I think I'm gonna do that thing.
Fast forward 5 years, and Ngannou has put together a highlight reel that compares to few. A 12-2 record in the UFC, and now the #1 heavyweight contender in the world.
I'm here alone, but I still consider this like a family success because my family has been very supportive. And my family has made it.
And when Francis made it, so did his village. The now 33-year-old formed the Francis Ngannou Foundation, building the first ever fully equipped gym in Cameroon in his hometown. He says he makes it back 3 or 4 times a year, and it's his way to pay it forward.
Those kids, they feel like they belong to something now. They are doing something, somebody cares for them. Something that they have always seen in the TV, they have it out there. So they believe that they can become a champion. Not a champion in the combat sport, that's not really matter. Just champion in the life, because whatever you do your best, you give it all, you are the champion.
In the UFC, Ngannou's nickname is the Predator, but as a kid in Cameroon, his nickname was the American Boy, due to his desire to come and compete in this country. He says it went so far that when he was asked for autographs, he would sign it San Francisco, because Francis closely resembles Francisco, and also because San Francisco was the only American city he knew. Now, he tells me he hasn't visited the Bay Area yet. He hopes to soon, but in the meantime, he's happy right here in his new home in Las Vegas. I'm Vince Sapienza, Fox 5 News Local, Las Vegas.